Hi folks, this is Travis here at the Homestead. Doing something a little different today. I decided to take you guys along with me on the road leading up to our property. I was going to talk through while I was driving, but my vehicle squeaky and bouncy and the road's bouncy and it made it hard to hear. So I'm just going to do this voiceover on the video to talk and see how that works. And well, I thought you guys might want to see, how it is that we get home. Now, before anyone starts screaming off spec, trust me, you're not going to be able to figure out where I live by watching this video. This doesn't look any different than the thousands of other gravel roads in the Ozarks. So today, I wanted to talk about kind of having that Minuteman mentality when it comes to protecting your home. And I'm not talking about kind of like the Minuteman of the old, where you had to grab your gear and go fight in a war or an invaders or something like that. I'm talking about just in day-to-day protection of your home. And for us, the majority of that is going to be against predator animals, four-legged predator animals, although two-legged predators could be part of that. And if you don't live in the country and you live in the city, maybe your focus is just the two-legged predators. And the reason where I kind of started thinking about doing this video is a week or so ago over at Viking Preparedness, on their Patreon page, Pastor Joe was talking about, getting woke up at night and he had to go out onto the, in the woods to check on something because he heard some noise, an animal or whatever. And if you want to hear that story, you're going to have to go over to his Patreon page, and I encourage you to do that. For only $1 a month, you can have, I like being able to have that community of other like-minded people. But anyways, that's a plug for him. So it made me think about doing this video because about a year ago, something happened here on our property that I had to jump up in the middle of the night and run out and check on. And it ended up being two-legged predators at that time. We were laying in bed, I'd fallen asleep. My wife woke me up and said, hey, I can see flashlights in the woods behind our house because our bedroom window faces the, woods behind our house. So I jump up and run out there, and sure enough, there's a couple of guys out there with flashlights and a couple of guns running around in our woods. I don't know exactly what they were doing because when I started to approach, they took off running. Chased them out to the road, which they got in their vehicle and left before I could catch up with them. But I did give them a good old hillbilly way of saying you're not welcome here and don't come back. They got the message. But anyways, the point is that I had to get up very rapidly and run outside. And maybe, if it had been a two-legged predator, which we happen to have those on occasion, then I have to do it quickly. And so maybe we should kind of come to this mindset, which is what I did, of having things set up at night before I go to bed so that I can very quickly get on my feet and get outside. And most people, their obvious thing is having a firearm and a flashlight. Obvious to have those readily available next to your bedside so that you get up and run outside. But what about shoes, clothes, things like that? Most things, whether it's people or animals, happen at night that you would have to get up. And you get up and you run outside and you have no shoes on and you have to run through rocks or sticks or whatever, or maybe someone's busted a window in your house and you have to jump up and you hit the floor and you're standing on broken glass. So what I have done is develop kind of a way to have what I call my Minuteman protection gear, which is basically my clothing, and I set it up in the same way every night. I have certain articles of clothing that I have practiced getting on and off, getting on quickly, and I also have shoes that I have practiced getting on quickly, so that when something happens, you wake up in the middle of the night, you're in this groggy state. So you're already at a disadvantage and you're trying to stumble around in the dark, figure out where your pants are, where your shoes are, trying to lace up boots, all that kind of stuff. And seconds matter. It could be your goats or your chickens getting tore apart, or someone breaking into your home, or someone stealing your truck. So try to develop a way that you can practice and have it the exact same way and develop that muscle memory, so that when you wake up at 2 o'clock in the morning, you're half out of it, your muscle memory kicks in. And so let me give you some examples. For me, and I tried different types of shoes, and I actually was thinking about buying some shoes, some like easily slip-on shoes, but I have Muck brand Muck boots, and they have that neoprene lining in them, and it makes it amazingly easy to slip my shoes on those boots. I don't have to pull them up, I don't have to wiggle my feet around, I can just step right into them, and they come all the way up almost to my knees. So they offer good protection. I can very, very rapidly put those on. I just step right into them and they're on, whether I have socks on or not. I usually have a pair of like sweats or flannel pants and a shirt or bib overalls laying next to the bed. I have them laid out in a way so that when I grab them, they're ready to be pulled on. They're not just folded up or kind of balled up. I make sure every night that they're laid out in a specific way. And I know this may be a little anal, but trust me, when the time comes, you're going to want to have that kind of thing set up. So I have the clothes set up a certain way, I have the boots in the exact same place, and I've actually practiced, jumping up out of bed, rapidly putting them on, putting the boots on, grabbing my flashlight and firearm and running outside. You don't, again, you can grab a gun and everything and run outside, but especially if you're living out in the sticks like me, you're going to be running out into rocks and sticks and dirt, and you may have to chase someone or chase something a little bit. And so I would recommend having a good pair of shoes. Sandals, they just don't cut it for that. They're not going to offer enough protection. But yet on the other hand, some kind of combat boots or something where you've got to sit there and lace up and all that, it's going to take too long. Maybe the side zip ones, if you can slip them on and zip them up real fast. But think of it like a fireman. Whether you've been a fireman or not, we've all seen how the firemen have their boots and their outfit kind of ready to go, where they can just step in the boots, slip on the pants and the bib overalls and everything and go, because they know that seconds matter. They got to get that stuff on, get it rapidly, and get out the door. And so that's something I would encourage you to kind of develop on your own, is a way to put something on enough. It doesn't have to be a lot of gear. We're not talking some kind of loadout tactical bearing, shield plate, blah blah blah. Just some decent shoes and clothing to get outside, and as the weather changes, change those clothing out for maybe warmer or cooler ones, but also practice putting that stuff on and off, because you'll need to do it fast. And it's worked well for us. I've had to run out a few times for animals, and having that practice and that set up that way, it's worked really well. So that's my advice today. I hope you guys have liked the drive home, and got a few more new videos coming out, and thank you all for watching. It's a real pleasure to make these videos for you guys and to get your feedback. So you guys have a blessed day. We'll check you back next time on the YouTubes.